apprentices, acolytes, and fellow lords of the Sith, coming into the Dark Temple, visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many other Force sensitives like yourself. It's so good to see you coming into the Dark Temple. I'm Lord Dagovere, fam. Let's go. Let's go, my guys. How y'all doing today? I forgot to set up the TikTok stream. I've been so busy running around doing so much stuff, but we got some good stuff here today. It's freezing cold, but you know what? For all my Sith Lord boys and girls, we got some hot chocolate. Ooh, ready up. Let's go. You know, there's a reason why I love Ben Solo so much, okay? This is actually my natural state, believe it or not. I used to try to, put it in ways that I don't usually do. I've been kind of doing this, but it's not even that really. It's more like this. But I don't really like that. It's not really me. I've just been, this is who I am. No glasses. This is who I am, But over the years, I've gotten hit on the head too many times, and it's affected my sight. So I need glasses now. Actually, the correct terminology was the sun damaged my eyes because I played so many sports and I was always out in the sun. I played a lot of baseball. I was always out on the weekends in that hot ass weather, which I didn't mind, but the sun eventually destroyed my eyes. So that's why I have glasses now. But yeah, anyway, origin story for you guys. But can I get, for the first time today in the chat, ready up? Yo, let's go. Hello there, Skywalker Academy. Logan. All the homies inside the chat. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Let's freaking go. Modern day Sith Lord is here to give you some good stuff, my guy. Let's freaking go. Alrighty. Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, man. A lot of good stuff. I got to get this freaking stream going on TikTok, man. God, freaking heckers. Whoa, what the flip? That is not what I want to do. But today I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about power scaling. I want to talk about certain things that I keep seeing about Anakin Skywalker hatred, which I think is really weird. Hatred for Anakin Skywalker fans. I don't know. Let's go. Let's see, fam. Let's really get this going. Also, I think it's called Masters of Evil or something. One of the brand new Star Wars books just came out. And I've been listening to it. I got to listen to it for a little bit as I was cooking. Literally, as I was cooking. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. The novel, let me see what it's actually called. Hang on, let me see. Star Wars, I think it's called Masters of Evil, right? Yeah, Master of Evil. So let me just get this up so you guys can see real quick. This book starts out with the Darth Plagueis the Wise quote. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? And I was instantly hooked. I was instantly hooked. It was that good. That good instantly. But there's a lot of really cool stuff in the first chapter that I think is amazing, man. It starts out, like I said, with some amazing Revenge of the Sith stuff. Then it goes into Count Dooku. And I don't want to spoil it, but there's some pretty good shit in this book so far. And I'm only a chapter in. I may be like 15, 20 minutes in, and it's fantastic. It's so good. Oh my God, it's almost as good as this hot chocolate made by your boy. Come to the dark side. We got some good hot chocolate. But how y'all doing today, huh? How's everybody? Let's freaking go. Oh my god, the legend Obi-Wan Kenobi on TikTok. Let's go. Yo, everybody welcome Baldy with a ready up. They just came out with a new Mandalorian trailer. No fucking way. Are you serious? Did it just drop right now? I was not prepared. This is not how this day was supposed to go. Are you serious, guys? You guys want me to react? On the stream? Okay, where the fuck is it? Is it even here? What? I have Star Wars on my notifications. What the hell? No way. Is this person? Are you effing with me? Did you get me? No, I don't believe it. All right, let me see. I don't see shit, bro. I think you're lying, dude. I don't see shit. I don't see it. We were bamboozled immediately. Frame 1. Oh my god. Immediate Sith Lord. Right here. All right. So yeah, we all got bodied. All of us. I fell for it. Everybody fell for it. What I think is also funny is sometimes I feel like I get it's like AI. You know, someone was tricked by AI, and then they're telling everybody something new happened. Yo, Trent and Jedi Connor inside the chat. Can I please get a ready up for Trent and Jedi Connor? So I'm about 10 minutes into this book, guys, and it's amazing. This book is so freaking good already, man. It drops you in with Darth Plagueis the Wise quote and Anakin Skywalker talking to Darth Sidious, and then it fast forwards, or excuse me, I should say, goes back into the past with Count Dooku, and something very interesting is happening in this book, and it's setting you up for something really insane. So if you haven't already, go ahead. Check it out. If you guys haven't or don't have money, what I would suggest is do a free trial to Audible. In that free trial that you get a free credit, and then you can get this book and listen to it on Audible. It's 15 hours, by the way, so you best be cracking and be dedicated AF, man, because I want to see that ish. All right, so let's freaking go. Should I cop it on? Yeah, do it, Connor. Because I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about it. A lot of stuff, man. It's a damn good book. It is so good. I got my homemade hot chocolate here for anybody. Got my Darmo. Yo, where are my Sith Lords in the chat, baby? Look, go. So good, man. Oh, yes, these cookies. These hot chocolates. Yes. Enter the temple and become one with the knowledge. Star Wars Academy says still one of the best covers of the Star Wars books I've seen. I love it too. It's pretty damn cool. I think there's going to be a lot of I think there's going to be a lot of coverage of this book. It's a very, very, very solid book. All right, so the bulk of the stream is probably going to be about power scaling, and I want to talk about power scaling in general. We're going to talk about power scaling in Star Wars. We're going to talk about why I think it's toxic, why I also think it's extremely healthy, and it has a bad rap. And then we're also going to get into the top 10 Sith Lords of all time, because TikTok was absolutely destroying me online and talking about how I didn't know shit. Anything, which I think we all know. I know something about Star Wars, you know. But I think it's really interesting when people try to make a top 10 of anything. There's always going to be people that don't agree. The hardest thing is trying to understand why people pick these things. And I'm going to do my best to get the entire understanding as much as I can of both Legends and canon and make the most realistic decision, I think, in a top 10 that you will see. But everyone's going to disagree on something. But yeah. All right. So let's get into the first hot takes of the stream that I saw. And the first one was kind of the biggest one. Here we go, right? And anybody, I want everybody on TikTok Live. I want everybody on YouTube, everybody to say something about this, okay? And everybody on TikTok Live cannot see this, but I can. So it says something about a guy's favorite Star Wars character being Anakin Skywalker just rubs me the wrong way. Something about a guy's favorite Star Wars character being Anakin Skywalker just rubs me the wrong way. So this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And I don't know why so many Star Wars fans hate Star Wars fans that love Anakin Skywalker. I think it's really interesting that people decide to hate fans of certain characters. For me, and you guys know, look, I'm going to say this, and you guys could call me out like crazy. I personally believe that I am the most down-to-earth Anakin Skywalker fan. Okay? Why is that? Because most of the time it sounds like I'm hating on Anakin Skywalker, but Anakin Skywalker is my favorite character. Okay? And I think that there is a responsibility as Anakin Skywalker fans to call Anakin out when he fucks up. All right? A lot of people like to talk about Anakin Skywalker killing children in the temple. But I think a lot of people completely oversee the fact that he was killing children even before them in episode 2 in the Tusken Raiders, and women. You know, he choked out his wife. And as much as I cannot stand the Jedi in the prequel movies, I understand that Anakin effed up just as much as them. I don't think it's a very hard thing to admit as an Anakin Skywalker fan. But of course, hey Cool Beans, so good to see you on TikTok Live. Of course, though, I'm an Anakin Skywalker fan because I love his suffering. I love his tragedy. And there are parts of Anakin that I understand. You know, it resonates with me as an individual that has mental illness, that has stupid fucking problems, you know. Thank God, though, I am way more self-aware than Anakin was. And I didn't nearly F up as much as he did. Anakin Skywalker is a broken person. At 9 years old, he was a slave. God knows the type of abuse that he witnessed at his age. He did not have many guardians in his life. And then, of course, the only person that he loved, his mother, was severed away from him because he decided at 9 years old that he wanted to be a Jedi. Of course, this kid is going to have personality disorders. Of course, this kid is going to have attachment issues. Of course, this kid is going to be emotionally immature. But that does not absolve him of his stupid-ass choices that he makes in the movies. And as an Anakin Skywalker fan, I understand that. With that being said, I do not understand why so many Star Wars fans hate Star Wars fans that love Anakin Skywalker. He is the most important character out of the first 6 movies, whether you like it or not. Like, the whole freaking movie is around that character, Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker, you know? I understand not liking the character. I understand hating the character because what he did and how his choices absolutely destroyed people, choked out his wife. He is a bad person. And I will stand on the hill as in my opinion, the most passionate Anakin Skywalker fan and say he is not a good Jedi in any regard. But I love that character. And he's my favorite. And I don't think I should be hated because I love this character. And I think when people say, like, oh, hey, you know, when people say that their favorite character is Anakin Skywalker, it rubs them the wrong way, that you hit me with the same energy. Why? Is it because you think I condone what he did? I think that's also a problem because those fans do exist. And I think those fans are very interesting, you know, because Anakin is not innocent. Anakin is not. Yes, he absolutely has the devil whispering in his ear. But even Anakin knows he is not innocent, you know. So I would like to get everybody's personal expectations on, or judgments on Anakin Skywalker and people that love Anakin Skywalker. Um, I want to know, do you guys on TikTok Live and YouTube in the Dark Temple hate people that love Anakin Skywalker? I think that's a really interesting conversation, and I think I've been seeing in modern day more people hate Anakin Skywalker. If I even mention Anakin Skywalker, I got so many people saying he's a child killer, he's this, he choked out his wife. Like, dude, I know. I know, man. I've seen the freaking movie longer than you've been alive. Okay? I was there day one in sophomore year of high school watching Revenge of the Sith. You know, I know. I know the sins. I know the story. Jedi Connor says just copped it. First 3 months on Audible is $1 a month. Wow, that's a bargain, bro. For all those credits, that's actually pretty good. I love it. It's me, Red Doom. I didn't mention that. This is another account I have. Oh, cool. Thank you so much, fam, for being here. But yeah, I would love to hear you guys' take on the whole Anakin Skywalker thing. Yeah, dang, imagine liking with the character with the development. Yes, and that's the other thing, too, is like, you know, look, I think you can challenge Anakin Skywalker fans by asking them, truly, that is Anakin Skywalker redeemed? Did he atone? Because I think those are two different questions. Did he redeem himself? In Star Wars, I'm just talking about Star Wars. In Star Wars, many people, and this is straight from source books, this is straight from things that I've read, many people believe, no, actually, you know what? I'll give you the goddamn source if I have to, because it is in the Jedi vs. Sith Essential Guide to the Force. I don't remember the page number, but I know it's in there. And it says, a lot of Jedi believe that coming back to the light is redemption in itself. Well, we ain't Jedi. This is the real world, you know? Is that atoning? No, he didn't atone. I don't think he atoned. And that's why I really want Ben Solo to come back and do what Anakin never did, because I would like to see someone that actually atones. You look, Keldroma did. You look, Keldroma absolutely did. You know, Anakin did not. But maybe Anakin can be in the nether realm of the Force, doing whatever he's doing now. I think that is a great challenging question. Not to attack Anakin Skywalker fans, but to engage with them. And I think that's what we should be doing. Skywalker Academy says, is he a terrible person? Yes. But his character development is amazing. He's very human. He's flawed, and that's what makes him interesting. Yes, exactly. And when I was in sophomore year of high school, I felt like I was being ignored, just like Anakin felt like he was being ignored by the council. 100%. But when I get older, I see my stupid ass flaws, and I understand how the mind is a very powerful thing, and how what's in my mind is not reality. Never. I am putting words into your mouth, into your mind. I'm trying to control what you are saying, what you are doing, and that is not the reality of the situation. But Anakin Skywalker does not know that, because he has Sidious destroying him. I'm not absolving him of his sins or telling him tell you guys that's the excuse, but that is a component of his tragedy. Hello there says his story is a tragedy, but that's what makes his character. Yes, but do you guys hate Anakin Skywalker fans for loving Anakin Skywalker? That's exactly what I'm trying to understand. David Torres says, I love Anakin, Ahsoka, and Captain Rex. That's the squad. Yeah, those are the boys. You know, and I wish Anakin never did that. Is this top 10 Sith Lord Legends EU canon or both? I just want the right parameters. You can do both, Caleb. But right now we're talking about people that hate people that love Anakin Skywalker. And I want to know if you love Anakin Skywalker, or how do you judge people that love Anakin Skywalker? Jedi Connor says, just because you like Anakin Skywalker as a character doesn't mean you condone his actions. Exactly, bro. Say it again, baby. Let everybody know. Let the Dark Temple ring with the echoes of your knowledge. And it's so crazy, because I swear to God, a lot of the time, I feel like a lot of these fans want to crucify people that love Anakin Skywalker as if like he is Anakin, as if they are Anakin Skywalker himself. They were the ones that slaughtered the younglings. They were the ones that killed the Tuskens. They were the one that killed Mace Windu and choked out Padme. That's what it feels like sometimes, you know? I will never forget where I posted on Threads, and this shit got thousands of views and likes, right? And I said, listen, we talk about Anakin's sins all the time, but the person that does not get crucified enough is Darth Sidious. And 50% of those replies, I would argue even 60 of them, were people talking shit about how you shouldn't be defending Anakin. And I wasn't defending Anakin. I was just saying that this guy is one of the most evil people in all of fiction, and that's Darth Sidious. And people blame Anakin for everything Darth Sidious did. And I feel like that energy is matched the same way that they judge Anakin Skywalker fans, man. I think a lot of people lack self-awareness. And to this day, no matter how self-aware I am, I'm not self-aware enough. But people don't acknowledge that. And they'll never, like, admit that, you know? And I feel like that happens a lot in Star Wars in the fandom. You know, maybe it happens in all the fandoms because we're all people, I guess, at the end of the day, right? But the Anakin Skywalker shit gets me so annoyed sometimes. It's like you can't even have a favorite character without people, pinning the sins of that character against you. And that is weird as hell. But fuck Griffith. If you like Griffith as a character, he's your favorite character, and you support him, you get the hell out of this stream. And don't search him up if you don't know him. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader is a good character, but if I would totally get my Glock, I appreciate you, Caleb. Yo, David, thanks so much for being here, fam. So good to see you. Logan, if people don't like Anakin because of the bad stuff he's done, they are really going to hate my favorites. Yeah, I mean, like, villains are awesome, man. Villains are such an integral part of creating a good character. It's one of the reasons why people love Luke Skywalker. Because of Darth Vader, you know? Every single hero has a shitty-ass character. And just like I was talking about, Guts has Griffith, you know? Frodo and the Fellowship have Sauron and Morgoth, you know? Like, there's always an equivalent, a representation of the opposite. And in fiction, when we see these characters, we do not admire them. But we like them because it's a story and it's not freaking real. And it's okay to like characters. Why do you think people like Thanos? Why do you think people love Darth Vader? You know? People like these characters. They do not condone what they do. But I think that's the part of being human and enjoying these aspects of these characters because it's a component of your hobbies or something that represents something that you enjoy, that gives you pleasure in this world, you know? I don't know, man. I think people get way too obsessed with someone else's opinions and someone else's views and someone else's views of a character, you know? Yeah, it's just like, man, like, Anakin Skywalker fans are the worst, and I hope they step on Legos. It's like, damn, bro, like, come on, man. Like, shit. I just like the character, dude. Leave me alone. Caleb says, like, no pushback on storming the temple when Anakin only really had a problem with the council. Yeah, you know, and I also feel like, though, Caleb, that's a very good point. As someone that loves Anakin Skywalker, he's my favorite character. There are parts of Revenge of the Sith that I mean, Revenge of the Sith is my favorite movie. I think it's one of the best Star Wars films, you know. But there are parts where I would ask George to make this shit better. You know, for instance, the biggest thing, every time I watch this freaking movie and it pisses me off so much because I still am surprised Anakin turns to the dark side, you know. every time I watch this movie, when Sidious says, cheating death is a power only one has achieved, but together we can do it, I would be flipping my shit right there. I would be throwing hands with the devil. And what do you mean you don't know? That in my opinion, is one of the craziest parts of the movie for me. Because the entire time, I actually think, hear me out, I actually think Anakin is quite wise through everything that he's gone through in Revenge of the Sith. There's even dude, Sidious tells him he's the Dark Lord of the Sith. And then Anakin hates him right there. And he's like, you know what, dude? I'm going to go tell... You know what? I'm not even going to do this. I'm going to go tell Mace Windu, the guy that everybody in the fandom thinks fucking hates my guts. That is eons above Anakin Skywalker's wisdom and maturity. Are you shitting me? That is the one choice that I never thought he would do. And he goes to do it. And everything is right. And then, shit happens, right? But that same type of methodology and thought process is thrown out the window because he's fallen to the dark side. But that is the entire purpose of which he fell for. And that part makes me so mad as I get older and I'm not just watching the lightsaber duels anymore. It's always been one of those things where I would crash the fuck out if this guy that was telling me that, hey, there's this power that's going to save your wife. Oh, yeah, but actually I lied about having to know about it, And that's why, the Revenge of the Sith novelization is also pretty damn good. Because it's telling you he needs to get into the archives. He needs the rank of master. They know what it is, So if I could just mix those two, man, Revenge of the Sith would be so much better. Imagine that initial scene, Anakin saving a Palpatine, and he's like, well done, my apprentice. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, man. In my opinion, Anakin would have turned during Clone Wars and then reveal it in Episode 3. Oh, interesting. That's crazy. So that far back. Yeah, man. David Torres in the chat says, Luke, everything Anakin should have been. Do you agree? All right. Is Luke Skywalker everything Anakin should have been? No. I don't think so. And that's because Anakin's potential is so high. Look, Luke Skywalker to me is the Superman of the Star Wars universe, especially in Legends. Like, this guy is manipulating fucking black holes, okay? He is practically omnipotent, okay? And a lot of people will tell you this shit. They will say, like, well, that's not a real black hole. It was created. Well, I'm sorry, but, a black hole the size of a nickel will literally destroy the entire solar system. So shut up. That's not how it works, okay? Like, he's literally manipulating a black hole. It doesn't matter the size or the relativity of it. Like, he's still manipulating a black hole. Luke Skywalker does that. So, even on Luke Skywalker's best day, Anakin Skywalker is part God. He was literally cooked up by the Force, right? And so when when Anakin Skywalker passes on, Anakin is a god. In my opinion. Like, what you see in Ahsoka is an inkling of what I think Anakin can do. Now, if Anakin Skywalker never lost his limbs, never turned to the dark side, George says that he would become Emperor of the universe. Eventually destroy the Emperor. And become Emperor of the universe. A lot of people say, like, oh, George is just saying stuff, but I genuinely believe, like, this guy is literally, like, Space Jesus, and he could have become something incredible. I just think Anakin Skywalker's power is endless, and probably more so now since he passed over and is a Force ghost. He's a Force god, so who knows what he can do. Luke is very strong, but Anakin to me is a god in that retrospect. But that is my personal opinion, guys. That's just what I believe. That's all. That's just it's probably my Anakin bias, but the guy literally is of the Force. Yeah, that's what I think. Kodo says, do you think Disney builds on the setup for sequels more? It'll change the perception of them? Yes, absolutely. Just like Clone Wars did for the prequel trilogy. You know, I think listen, Bob Iger and everybody else out there, because I know you guys are huge fans of the streams, right? Because you guys are always in here. Stop listening to what people say. Just invest into the product. Just keep investing. I don't care if people don't like Rey. I don't care if you think Ben Solo shouldn't be alive. Invest into the children you created. It makes no sense for you to just spend $5 billion and then all of a sudden stop producing the content when fans say they don't like it. Just make the story good. Canceling the Acolyte is stupid. Not putting prequel stuff in the sequels is stupid. Making Ben Solo and Rey and then not continuing their story is stupid. At the very least, upgrade the stories. Work on the stories. Don't release anything until the stories are amazing. That's the whole point. You know, George Lucas wouldn't have done this. I know you're not George Lucas. He wouldn't have canceled any of this shit. But at the very least, man, release this shit with conviction, like you actually care, and then you will make money. You know, that's my feelings on that. Oh my gosh, it gets me so freaking mad every time. Skywalker Academy says stepping on Legos is a new kind of evil. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I feel like a lot of those people that hate Anakin Skywalker fans will do to you, man. Hello there says, are you implying that if Anakin had a sister, he should have kissed her? Definitely not. No. No, man. I don't know what the hell is up with Star Wars romance, man. It is always so freaking weird, dude. God, man. I agree with you 100%. Like give a Clone Wars tier show this. Yes, exactly. I think that'd be good. But like, all right. Don't just do like what people did before. Like, obviously there's a template here, but you should be evolving the template every single time. You should be bringing it further and beyond. There's a certain level of quality, right? We know what Andor was capable of. But now what happens when you give us a show like that has Force sensitives? Okay, great. We know Clone Wars works, especially season 7. Now maybe let's try 2D anime. Or maybe let's try something on the level of Arcane. I'm not talking about the way it looks. I'm talking about writing. I'm talking about production. I'm talking about care and writing and care and writing and care and writing and execution. That's what I'm talking about. That would be amazing because Star Wars should be setting the bar every time. That's what the original trilogy did. That's what somewhat of the prequel trilogy did because it created Photoshop, it created Adobe, After Effects, and Premiere and all these things, what George created. So why isn't every Star Wars project doing something like that? You know, The Mandalorian did the volume, so that's pretty cool. And those first 2 seasons were godlike for me, you know, but I just feel like there's things that aren't executed as well as they should be. And if they fell through with that execution, we wouldn't be talking here about certain shows that people don't like all the time, every stream. Also, guys, thank you so much for being so freaking active today. Can I get a 1 clap in the chat? Let's go. Ready up, baby. I wish we got the Acolyte Season 2. You know, but that's the thing, too, is like, don't give me Acolyte Season 2. Give me Khmer and Plagueis. And that's possible. Why not? People are buying the art books. People are buying the visual dictionaries. People are buying the characters. There is love for this character. Even people that don't like the Acolyte want to see Khmer and Plagueis. And if they don't, they're probably they just don't like Disney products in general, and I understand that. You know, Anakin is Jesus. Logan, are you joking with me, or are you actually? Because that's how I feel Anakin is, honestly. Phoenix with some flair says patiently waited the 20th minute to say I think I found my people. Let's go, Phoenix. Let's go. Also, guys, everybody's welcome here, man. Legends, new canon, come in here, enjoy yourself. I have my own opinions, I have my own views, but I'm not going to shit on you for liking the sequel trilogy, okay? I'm not going to shit on you for liking The Old Republic. I love The Old Republic, baby. But everybody's welcome here. for Star Wars fans anyway. Come on in here, enjoy yourself. We have literally people from all sides of the fandom. I know I'm not explained or theory or whatever these people are. I'm just a guy talking about Star Wars, and I'm glad you all are here. Do you think the Mandalorian, that freaking chat just went so fast. Do you think the Mandalorian should move on from Grogu since season 2? Yes, I think that was the obvious question, that they should just kind of move on. Whether or not they should. But I think that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie should be a reset, and the end of the movie should have Grogu as grown. He should go through a growth spurt. He should be talking. That's how the movie should end. If it doesn't do that, I don't know what we're doing. Do you think Star Wars should continue to go with more mature direction with their properties? I think that they should be everything. They should be kiddie. They should be romantic. They should be dramatic. They should be dark. They should be funny and whimsy and fun. That's what Star Wars is. I think it's all of these things. The problem is that Star Wars is all generations, and then it's impossible to please everybody, and that you should just pick a tone and a flavor and execute on that level. Jedi Connor and Daddy Sheev and I always talk about one thing on our Starlight podcast every single Wednesday or Thursday or Friday on YouTube. Go check it out. We always say one thing: Star Wars is a buffet. Everybody can feast. So please, make whatever you want. Logan says, Anakin is the chosen one of the Maker, sent to the galaxy, a miraculous birth to bring balance. I agree wholeheartedly, man. And even though that guy effed up so much, I still love him, and I still see his potential, and I just wish I had a story of his atonement, man. God damn it. Oh, I love that welcome. Thank you so much. No problem, Phoenix. Everybody, can I get a welcome to Phoenix for the first time ever in the Dark Temple? Ready up. Gage says, I'd assume they'll move from Mando and Grogu after the Heir to the Empire movie, not after this movie. It sucks because I really love Mando. I really love Mando, man. I love that show. Even season 3, man. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I liked it. Was it as good as season 1 and 2? No, it was not. It was not. No, sir. But I still liked it. I still liked it, man. I liked it, man. I don't know. Grogu should be in the upcoming Rey movie. I would love that. That would be awesome. Logan on here as well. Oh my gosh, man. Definitely Coda, not gonna lie. Oh, that would be sick, man. You want to see a rated R Vader movie? I think they could do it, but rated R Vader movie just sounds so 2015 Vader comics, I'm not saying it can't happen. I just it's got to be good. It's got to be good. No, I disagree. Sorry. That's wrong of me to say. It's got to be effing great. It can't just be good. It has to be effing great. It's going to be a rated R movie. People are going to talk about this. Also, guys, if I miss your chat, please, at my ass, because I got 4 eyes, and there's no reason why I should be missing shit in chat. All right? Thank you. Lane Crazy says, but Luke succeeded where Anakin failed. Don't you agree? Yeah, absolutely. But Luke also failed in both in Legends and canon. Luke failed with his new Jedi Order because Kip Durn is a freaking psychopath, and he's a radical, and Luke even had his own faith in him, saying that he was going to be the best of all of them. He is crazy. That guy's a lunatic. That guy is trying to he made his own code. That was semi-dark side. It was insane, But yes, Luke absolutely succeeded in so many areas that Anakin could not. And that's because Anakin is the super seed of Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi. But Anakin Skywalker's potential is limitless. And I don't think Luke could ever achieve what Anakin Skywalker's potential could. What is that? I don't know. That's all, because I just think Anakin Skywalker's potential is stupid. It's one above all type shit, Saint Seiya type stuff. The whole freaking universe is the power of his hands. But he effed it up. Forward into Black. Thank you so much for coming to the stream, everybody. Welcome Forward into Black with a ready up. Says, I don't want Lucasfilm to cater to edgelords who want rated R whatever. Interesting. But I will challenge you and say they don't want to cater to your Old Republic or High Republic, So I think that they should. I think that Lucasfilm should pick an idea and fucking do it. Go! Do it. Oh my God. You guys gonna get me crazy. All right. So you have 2D anime right now with Star Wars Visions. Stop with the no canon shit. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. It's animation. It's going to look crazy. It's going to look wild. But that's why Sam Witwer is always talking about this is the medium we tell the stories. They're not going to do this in live action. They only do this in the video game. They only do this in the books. That's because it's the medium of storytelling. It's supposed to do that. Stop being scared of what everybody else is going to say and just execute on this idea. Invest. There's so many incredible writers out there. There's writers out there that write incredible books. I'm talking about the Old Republic. I'm talking about New Jedi Order, Bane Trilogy. You have some of them that are writing new canon stories. Why can't you just make a Knights of the Round Table of both new canon and old canon writers that we all love and start getting them freaking writing in Lucasfilm Art Studio, whatever, for games and books and potential movies and then maybe even live action stuff. Like, it's all there. It's all there. Just do it. If you like this idea, and not everybody's going to like Andor, not everybody's going to like Tales of the Underworld, not everybody's going to like the Mando and Grogu movie, just do it. Just do it, man. It's Star Wars. They will eventually accept the vision if the product is good. Just do it, man. There's some Nike shit in here. Just do it. Hot Take says, if Marvel can have rated R and TVM stories, make a live-action rated R Maul movie. It doesn't even have to be about Sith, guys. It could be about the Rakatan Empire coming in and frickin' taking over people. It could be about Korriban and the rise of the Sith species, conquering Sith space and taking in slaves. And then all of a sudden, when they're building their Sith species empire, Ajunta Paul comes in and kills their leader and says, now we are the first Dark Lords of the Sith, bitch. And then you start to see the hierarchy of the Sith Code. There you go. It doesn't have to be about Vader. It doesn't have to be about Maul. Just make a good product. Where am I? Why am I not in the room? Damn it. Because I'm a scrub that doesn't even have 10K subs. That's why. Caleb, I know I'm in general. I would just love rated R. Yeah, I know. I think that's cool. I like a lot of the Sith ideas, man. I'm a big Darth Vader stuff. And by the way, guys, when I go off in a tangent, I promise I'm not saying what you're saying is bad. I promise. I'm just a little too excited. Okay. All right, your boy got put on Nerd Erotic 2 years ago because I was too excited about Ahsoka. I think it was Ahsoka. Yeah, and ever since then, I've been the Disney shill, but clearly. Forward into Black says, I don't think Star Wars fans are actually prepared for mature content. I think they want violence and swear words and or beyond mature. I actually agree with you. I think that's one of the reasons why Andor probably didn't do as well as it should have, because I think we all can agree that Andor is peak. But for me and my dumbass, there's no lightsabers and there's no force. So that was very unattractive to me, And so if it's unattractive to me, it's probably unattractive to a lot of the movie-only fan base. And guess what? Andor is also very, 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 very dialogue heavy. So if I look at my phone and then, there you go. The first 2 episodes of Andor are done and Cassian hasn't found his sister yet. And it's getting kind of boring. That is another problem. That is another problem. You can't tell the actual story because people are just so used to micro content that they just can't sit there. Even when they go to the movies, people have their phones out now, and I think that's a problem. I think that's a genuine problem that needs to be solved for entertainment. How do you keep people fixated in a chair for longer than 2 hours to watch a real story? Predator Badlands was very good. I think Predator Badlands did it pretty well. Pretty good. I think Star Wars can learn a lot from that movie. But who knows? Skywalker Saga needs some elements, but not every project. Yes, I agree 100%. Yes. Although I love Skywalker stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a hot take these days. It seems like everybody hates Skywalkers now. I don't know. I just can't see Star Wars without Skywalkers in some form. Phoenix says, I think it's harder for Star Wars to build off the sequels than, say, the prequels, though I do think it's possible. I think it's harder for them to build off the sequels because look at the era that we're in. There's just so many different mediums. There's so much different competition now. I think it is tough. I think it's also extremely restrictive, and I'm talking about Disney. You can't just write a novel about Rey, Finn, Poe, and Kylo Ren anymore. They don't want those characters out there. There's a reason why we haven't had anything with Enfys Nest. Why is Enfys Nest not being written about? That is a great character in one movie. Why? Because they probably are holding that character for whatever, when Solo, whatever happens. That character is probably in shelving production hell. So that sucks. That's not something that should be happening. Even characters from Legends, like the Old Republic. You guys know how much I love. You guys know, but I'm also a new canon fan. All right, so relax. There's characters that are just in purgatory, and that'll never be talked about, and it sucks because is that a Disney problem? Is Disney saying don't do this yet? We just announced this game. Yeah, we don't know what we're going to do with it. Don't do that. This character happened, and part of this movie, we don't know if it did well because it came right after The Last Jedi. Maybe we shouldn't use this character at all. Especially after the whole Ben Solo movie thing, I feel like that was quite an epiphany that we had to realize why stories aren't being told that probably should be, Caleb, you are extremely active. Thank you so much. Star Wars stories just need more power of hope to make the galaxy better. I agree. That's why I love the Village Bride in Star Wars Vision so much. That was such a Jedi story. I am not a Jedi character. I don't like Jedis aren't necessarily my favorite characters, right? I love the broken characters, the struggle, the tragedy, Sith characters, especially my boy Anakin and Vader and Ben Solo, Revan, all these, all the crap bullshit that you guys always hear. But I love characters like Eula Keldroma, like Nomi Sunrider, that just break those chains of pain and suffering and then just find a way to be everything I never could be in life, That is the most beautiful part of Star Wars is where in your darkest moments, when everything is going bad, you don't do what everybody else does. You stay strong. You have your resolve. And you break those chains of despair. And I remember when sitting there and watching F light her lightsaber, and she says the most basic shit, but it was so powerful in the way that she does it. And she says, I am a Jedi. And then ignites her lightsaber. And in front of tyranny, in front of shitty-ass people, there was such a Jedi thing to do where Order 66 was just right there happening. And she was also carrying her baggage and had so much stuff to deal with and still decided to do something for everybody else around her. And I was just like, man, if Anakin could have done that, if Ben Solo could have done that, it's just... that was so Jedi. And I think that's the power that we're missing in a lot of this stuff. Andor was great. But imagine if it was a Jedi story. That's what I feel like I need. I need a Jedi story. And I feel like we haven't gotten one. We haven't gotten a real Jedi story. In a while. But that's just me. Make F canon, I would love that. I would love that. The child characters in the Skeleton Crew, in my opinion, are top 15 best Star Wars characters. I loved that show. That show was so good. I love that show, man. I love that show. It's a shame that Kira gets that treatment. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. But they've done a lot with Kira in the expanded universe. So that's cool, but it's weird, like I don't know, I feel the same way about the Knights of Ren, but they've gotten a lot of spotlight recently with Legacy of Vader, which is a fantastic comic book series. You guys got to check it out, man. Also, if you guys haven't already, please check the description and the links in TikTok and on YouTube as well, so you can join the Discord, so you guys can hear all my bullshit about Star Wars. And we stream every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Join the Apprentices and Acolytes of the Dark Temple. They're really cool. They're really nice, and they're not as loud as me. Yeah, that sucks about Kira. Phoenix says, I feel that Academy personally, broken characters are the most interesting to me. Yes, because they have so much weight. It's the emotional value. You care about the character. I was talking about how, like, my Mount Rushmore is, like, of characters is, like, Guts from Berserk, Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings, Darth Vader, Anakin, from Star Wars, Frankenstein, the characters that just have, like, insane amounts of suffering, and parts of them are noble and admirable, but parts of them are tragic and sad and an example of what we should never be. And I feel like I love that. But then there's also, like I was talking about, characters like Eula Keldroma that does terrible things, kills his own brother, and then has to find a way of redemption and suffering, and suffers for a very, very long time. But no one will ever really know that story. I can tell you about that story as I've made so many videos about it, but the masses will not know unless they watch it in live action, And I think you have legends, and you should be using it as a foundation to build more stories, or inspire new stories, I think the High Republic actually does that pretty well, where it's always mentioning Odan or characters from the Old Republic. That is exactly what future stories need to do, because I think Star Wars does a very good job when it connects itself to other stories. The prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, That's why so many fans love it, because there's power, there's emotion, there is legacy, ancestry. Family is powerful, and even when they're not related, it's still powerful story because it's familiarity. A lot of people say it rhymes, it's poetry, because George Lucas says that, but I just like how it's always connecting back, just like the Force. That's how I feel. Most people would be skeptical as hell. Yes. Imagine a woman from MSL suddenly started healing your friends with the Force. Most people would be skeptical. Yes. And I actually liked that part in Andor. I thought that was one of the best parts, honestly. I loved that part, actually. That made the Force feel so mystical and unknown, and it hasn't felt like that in a while. It's been so surface level and watered down, and obvious, if that makes any sense. Make F canon, I would love that. Hello there says they should have used legends as source material for ideas. They do. There's a lot of I've spoken to some of the writers, especially from some of my favorite canon books, and they like a lot of the stuff, man. A lot of people kind of shit on Lucasfilm, like as if like they're ignoring legends. It's not that. It's just I don't think really people understand the responsibility or the pressure to meet expectations such as legends, especially the Old Republic. But a lot of the people that are there, especially in the Knights of the Jedi games, like, dude, some of the writers are the same writers that worked on Knights of the Old Republic, Forward into Black says, I think a lot of the new canon characters have more depth and complexity and have been written by more mature authors than what we got in the 90s and 2000s. Eric, Thane, Sienna, Iskat, Cal, Iden, Stellan, Elzar, etc. I don't think you're wrong, but I also believe that there are characters that did the same with less resources, less technology, less funding, you know. And in my opinion, this is just the way I view it. The characters that came before were around longer. So it was so much easier for people to appreciate it back then because there was less of it and it was more powerful. That's why nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and it's practically impossible for people to sever themselves from what came before because it meant so much to them at that time. Elzar Man is a fantastic character. T. Yorick is a great character. Cal Kestis is such a freaking good character, you know? But do they pale in comparison to Revan, Malgus, Traya? I don't think so. But if you were going to give me someone and say like, hey, here's a Funko Pop of Revan and here's a Funko Pop of Cal Kestis, but you can only choose one. I'm choosing Revan because, you know, Revan is older. You know, Cal Kestis is new. His story has just begun. And I think because it's newer, it's harder for people to care about it more, if that makes any sense. You know, I think in time, these characters will be appreciated. But a lot of these characters have been talked about like it's a goddamn fairy tale. And they've been amplified by social media, by videos that were made 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And that's what these characters are always going to battle against, you know. Unless it's like some hot new shit like The Mandalorian that just was lightning in a bottle and everybody loves him even on his worst day, you know. That is very rare. That's not going to happen again, you know. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Forward in the Black, but it's just, I don't know, time adds value to things, I feel like, and, you know, maybe if we're sitting here in 2030, maybe people will really come around to that, you know. Like, I've talked a lot and made videos about some amazing things from the High Republic, and I have so many Legends fans asking me, where is this from? And then I tell them the High Republic, and then they'll be like, oh, no, you know, that's some woke-ass shit, you know, and, you know, doesn't happen with everything. But there's clear influence because people don't want to enjoy something today, you know, and that's just the world that we live in right now. Eventually the glasses will come off and they will see the truth, but it's going to be a while, you know. All right. So we have a couple more things to go over. And I've been, like, going crazy, man. Your boy does not shut up. Jesus. Okay, so the next thing we have is, let's get over with this, right? Sean Levi says, Star Wars Starfighter is an all-new, non-sequel, non-prequel adventure. It inherits legacy themes, but it's really trying to give Star Wars fans and just movie audiences some fresh, something new. Good. I feel like this is what everybody's been asking for. Like, they want new stuff. And it's in the sequel trilogy, so that's cool. I like that, you know. And it's cool that it's in the sequel trilogy, but doesn't really have ties to anything else. But I would be wary when they say those things because I feel like that's more of a disadvantage than an advantage. You know, for instance, one thing I think that needs to be invested in more is the Sith Eternal. Not everybody needs to be a Sith, but I would like to see Renegade Darksiders. I would like to see different religions of the Force. You know, obviously we have the Night Sisters, but I want to see something more so like, hey, this is a Force user. Maybe they are not using lightsabers, but they weaponize the Force in some way that you wouldn't necessarily see a Sith or a Jedi do. And these are soldiers, you know, or mercenaries or bounty hunters. You know, Mara Jade is a really interesting example of that, but minus the lightsaber, of course, I think there could be some really cool ways to develop something new in Star Wars. And I hope Starfighter brings it. But I already think this movie is going to be fantastic. There are just the right names are attached to this project, and I think it's going to be really good. But only time will tell, man. I've been wrong before, man. I have been wrong too much. Gage says, I don't think Starfighter is the kind of movie to go into that stuff. Yeah, I obviously. But it doesn't need to go into it to show it. There could be a one-off character there. Matt Smith is there. He could be a part of something, you know, Acolytes of the Beyond type stuff. I could really dig that. That would be really cool, you know. 400 Odd says, I just watched Drive for the first time, and I love Ryan Gosling so much. Yeah, dude. That's the type of vibe. If you can give me 50%, 10% of that, 8% of that in Star Wars, top 10 Star Wars movie for me, man. Top 10. Okay. All right, so now let me see if I can do this real quick. We are going to get into top 10 Sith Lords of all time for me. And I would love for you guys to do top 10 Sith Lords in your eyes. You can do both Legends. You can do Legends New Canon. You can do only Legends. You can do only Canon, whatever you want to do. Sorry, I have to go. Hey, no problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Make sure you guys join the Discord. And please sub to the YouTube channel. We are almost at 10K. Let's go. Top 10. There's only 12. LMAO. So I do top 10 Sith Lords of all time. And this is going to be interesting. The reason why I'm doing this is because we did the Jedi list that some weird thing had made, and I was just using the characters that the list provided, and that's it. A lot of people thought that I didn't know my shit because I didn't put people in there like, you know, Revan or Nomi Sunrider or Odan which are probably characters they didn't even know, but I was just using what was provided. But I want to cause some controversy, and because that's always so fun on the internet, right? Is we're going to do the top 10 Sith Lord, and I'm going to make a top 10 Sith Lord list. Why are you not listening to me, computer? All right, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So, I would love to see what you guys say. Also, I will probably put characters in this list that I think are of the same tier. So, for instance, maybe number 1 will have like 2 characters. Maybe number 10 will have like 3 characters. But I will essentially be putting characters on here. All right. So let me make here. Okay, cool. All right. Here we go. Let me just turn this up a little bit so you guys can see. Oh, can I not? Whoa. All right, here we go. So, top 10. I've seen a lot of lists, and I know a lot of people are going to be really upset at this. So, it's okay. All right, guys. So, let's start naming some characters. Let's start naming some characters. All right, Vader, Frieden, Nad. Although I think it's 2 N's and 1 D. Nihilus, Nihilus. There we go. Treya, Malik. Oh wait, no, Malik is a C. Right? Malik is a C, right? I'm such a fraud. I want to make sure that I get it right. Oh, no, it is K. All right, cool. So I was right the first time. I don't know why I thought it was a C. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. My keyboard does not have letters. Here we go. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Play yes. Oh my god, play yes. I think I also spelled that wrong. Play I know it's yes, it's U-I-E-S. Thank you so much. Yes, that is it. Officiate. Crate. Cadius. Sidious. Sarkoon. Nagasadao. Dooku. Bane. So Vader, Frida Nad, Nihilus, Treya, Malik, Plagueis. We'll do, alright, so we'll do Revan. Well, we'll do Revan. We will do Revan. Even though, in my opinion, Revan is a Jedi now. That's the canonic. That's what he ended as, right? And so we'll do that. Malgus, forgot literally one of my favorite Sith Lords. Who else? Who else are we putting here? Valley of the Force Jarek. Valley of the Force Jarek. But would you classify him as a Sith? I feel like he's an Inquisitor. I don't think I'm gonna do Jarek. Because I mean he's a Sith, but I mean he's Inquisitor. But a Sith Lord? A Sith Lord? I love when Mace says that. Darth Ruin. Yeah, we have Crate up here. Crate is at the top. Or Crate is in the middle. Sorry, guys. Do we have any on here on TikTok? Okay, TikTok, we're going to start doing this on YouTube TV. So if you guys want to see that, please head over and then join the stream, baby. I'll see you around. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow the channel. Deuces. All right, cool. So TikTok is chilling. Now it's just you and me, YouTube, baby. Let's go. Jarek is a wannabe Sith. Oh, thank you so much, Lumaya. Yes, the Dark Lady, Lumaya. Lumaya. Yes. A Sith Lord? A Sith Lord?
Apologies.
Man, I don't have that as a sound bit. Oh, I do not have it as a sound bit. I'm terrible.
At last you have arrived.
I'm the worst, bro. Darth Santa, she's not on the list. Sorry, she's not on the list. And like I said, I'm gonna piss people off. Okay. So here we go. Man, I wish I could move. I wish I had like an actual tier list that I could move. Damn, bro, I want to just... How do I make this... Here, you know what? Maybe I'll do it the broken way. No! That's not what I wanted. Whatever. All right, here we go. All right, guys. So, top 10. Here we go. All right. I have a very... So this is the rules, all right? This is the rules, okay? We are putting these characters in a situation where... How can I say this? I am ranking this list as if I put a character in any situation that I can think of, they will come out on top the most. Okay? And that is going to be the problem with making power scaling lists, tier lists, is that a lot of people, you know, they're like, they only think of one ability, of one scale. This person did this and that's it, right? I'm not doing that shit here. I'm thinking about the person's weaknesses. I'm thinking about the person's strengths. I'm thinking about the person's intellect, the person's strategy, power with the Force. Everything is going into this list. This is the be-all, greatest of all. Okay? And it's going to piss some people off, you know? But this is who I think. And I can be wrong. That's fine. I'm used to being wrong, okay? This is who I think, and you don't have to agree with me. Make up your own list. This is all it's supposed to do, is inspire you to make up your own list. All right? Gage. So Gage, you know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? The first character on the board is Nihilus. Nihilus, in my opinion, is an honorable mention. Do you want to know why Nihilus is an honorable mention? Because if I put him against Frieden Nad, if I put him against Traya, if I put him against Malgus, Revan, Plagueis, Vitiate, Exar Kun, Sidious, Naga Sadow, Nihilus is getting dropped. Nihilus is getting bodied by every single one of these characters. Nihilus is the most overglazed character in all of Star Wars. Nihilus is able to drain a single Force planet confirmed in Knights of the Old Republic 2. Every other planet is assumed that he's doing this. They do not take into account what Scion is doing. And Scion is going around and eliminating everybody else. The other thing is, too, Nihilus can't even eat planets like everybody else thinks online. He drains them of their Force essence. And there aren't even enough planets in the galaxy to do that. It is smaller than 1% of the planets that he would be able to do that to. And the only one he does it to is the main planet that he can do it to. So, Nihilus's power isn't over-exaggerated. He's extremely strong. But he also cannot control his own power. He collapses on himself. When there's any amount of pressure, this guy fucking sucks. And he explodes and dies. I don't even think he's that great of a duelist. There are certain characters in Star Wars that will die instantly to Nihilus. And I would put them around 90% of the Star Wars characters in the Star Wars universe that are Force sensitives cannot handle Nihilus. But when you start to go into that top tier, that higher echelon, Nihilus is not as good as any of these other characters because he became his power. It was a freak accident. He did not train to acquire this. It was given to him by tragedy. Nihilus is 10 right now on this list. 10. And that's me being generous. That is me being generous. I think what people also do not understand is that all of these characters, Malgus, Revan, I don't know about Bane, Naga Sadow, Exar Kun, Sidious, Crate, Vitiate, Plagueis, Traya, they will all manipulate Nihilus. Nihilus was already manipulated by Traya. That is another weakness people never even talk about. A Sith Lord's deception, a Sith Lord's words, deceit. Nihilus is top 10, and he is number 10 on this list. That's it. That's it. Yes, but you have to understand too, like, the others literally cannot harm him, but the others that you're talking about never existed around Nihilus. And these characters are more powerful than Nihilus. The creator of Nihilus himself says that Naga Sadow is stronger than Nihilus. And Naga Sadow is not stronger than Frieden Nad. Naga Sadow is not stronger than Exar Kun. And that is, in my opinion, more than enough for anyone that loves Nihilus to sit there and realize this guy, it needs to be taken down a peg. I'm not saying he's weak. I'm not saying he's not powerful. But he is not the most powerful by a long shot. Because there are people on this list that have done things better than what Nihilus can do. And Vitiate and Sidious is one of them. All right, Gage. I hear you, though. I understand. I was also upset when I found this out, okay? Revan existed around Nihilus, and Kreia is counting on the exile, not Revan, as the only one who can hurt him, because she doesn't know where Revan is. But Revan is way more strategic than Nihilus. Revan, in my opinion, is way more gifted than Nihilus. Revan is way more intelligent than Nihilus. I think that you're seriously underestimating these characters and their other abilities. Nihilus is in my opinion the definition of a glass cannon. He has immense power, but there isn't much more that he can do when his power does not work. You know, she says only a wound in the Force can do it otherwise. That is not true. But Gage, that is not true. Gage, that is not true, because Treya and Zion both fight Nihilus, right? And I guess you can argue that they are wounds in the Force, okay? But he can't even use his power correctly, because not only does Treya survive, she gets her power back. Not only does his apprentice survive, like, Nihilus doesn't even know how to use his own power. And he's also the weakest boss you fight in that game, in his own game. You know, and on top of that, of course, is what the literal creator of the character says. You know, like, he's losing to Revan, he's losing to Naga Sadow, he's losing to Exar Kun, he's losing to Frida Nad. I don't know what more you need to understand that Nihilus can't do anywhere near what everyone else says online. Like, he's very strong, but he's not the best. By the way, I love your faves list, guys. My fave lists. My faves. I'm trying to see this. Gage, it's a lie, though. Yes, and that is also a lie, too. Like, the whole wound in the Force thing, Treya's vision is obscured by her influence of the dark side. And that's another thing that I think people don't understand when they play Knights of the Old Republic 2. When she's telling you about all these things, she's falling to the dark side. She's losing her wisdom. And she even admits that at the end of the game when you fight her on Malachor. She's like, yes, I fell. You know, I did this and I was using you. I used you the entire way. Like, and how can you trust her in anything she says when she says that? 'Cause she's admitting these things to you, you know? But yeah, I don't want to attack you, Gage. You know, Nihilus is cool as shit. I love Nihilus, you know. But this is just my opinion, you know. All right, moving on. Okay, so I am going to, let's see. All right, so we have Plagueis. All right, so I'm going to put Plagueis. Let me see here. I need to move characters, because the characters are going to help me understand more. Okay. So this is where it gets really interesting. I'm just putting these characters here for a second, okay? I will move them. It's not a permanent spot, so you don't have to react too much. I have Malik there. I have okay, Treya, Vitiate. Okay, so I'm gonna save the final two, but I want to work with these right now. And this is gonna be really interesting. Yeah, their favorite Sith list. Oh, nice. Let's go. Yeah, I love it. What is this here? Hang on one second. I'm gonna close this out real quick. Okay, that's what it is. All right. I'll drop it though. No, it's okay, Gage. I honestly, dude, I would like you to continue that in the Discord if you want to. Trust, I have 300 hours on KOTOR. I understand Nihilus isn't something she lies about. It doesn't benefit her too. All right. I mean, like, I get it. You know, everybody has their view, and I think that you should hold your view. Honestly, man. I'm just telling you how I feel, but I really feel like Nihilus would get dropped by so many of these characters. And by so many, I mean, like, literally Plagueis, Revan, Exar-Kun, Friedenad, Naga Sadow, because that's who the writer says created that. But outside of that, like, Vitiate and Sidious are destroying Nihilus in one way or another. Okay, so here's my thing, right? I actually think Darth Kaitis and Crate are on the same level. And what I'll do is I will remove 2. And I am putting Vitiate and Sidious here. In all of Star Wars, okay, Vitiate and Sidious have ridiculous accomplishments. They are insanely powerful. In the Dark Empire alone, Sidious does unfathomable things that Nihilus can't even do in his entirety, in his entire character arc. You know, Sidious is an absolute dog, and I don't even think people understand everything of which Sidious does. I'm not saying Sidious is number 1, but I'm saying he's not number 3. I personally believe that if you make a list and Vitiate is number 1, or Sidious is number 1, and Vitiate is number 2, or Sidious is number 2, those characters are always right there. I think that if you're putting someone above them, I wouldn't agree with what you're doing. I personally believe it's only Vitiate and Sidious, and I think that there is nobody else anywhere near their realm. It's only them. In every single scenario, no matter what the situation is, those characters will come out on top the most against every other Sith Lord. I just think that, you know, that's who it is. That's who it should be. You know, Vitiate is essentially successful. Sidious, Vitiate was the model. Yes, exactly. And you know what's funny, Logan, too, is I think a lot of people don't understand is that Vitiate's character is inspired by Dark Empire Sidious. Everything that Sidious does in the Dark Empire is fleshed out way better for Vitiate in the Old Republic. Like everything that Sidious does with Biss is basically everything that Vitiate does in the long run. Controlling people's mind, you know, draining them of their power, you know, becoming more powerful, essence it's just Darth Sidious of the Old Republic, you know. So that's why I always have those two together. Personally, I mean, I feel like Sidious has the raw power and the knowledge, in my opinion, on Vitiate, but Vitiate has just consumed so many people, you know, because of there was no one else out there able to destroy him, and that's why he was able to accumulate so much power. You know, Sidious had to deal with Luke Skywalker and Vader, you know, and all this other shit, you know, and Yoda, you know. So I just feel like Vitiate didn't necessarily have as much competition as Sidious did, and that's why I just always have those two characters there. I don't think it's anyone else close, to be honest. Vitiate is also Gary Stu. Yes, exactly, Gage. I agree with that 100%. See, we agree. I think it's funny how so many people get really mad at Rey, but then they sit here and will glaze Vitiate, and I think Vitiate is one of the biggest Gary Sus in all of Star Wars. But that's just me. He's insane when it comes to that. Okay, so here's my thought process on this. Bro has the death of a puddle as a villain. Yes! I agree, dude. Phoenix with Flair says that is true. Gage Cray in particular idolizes Revan, so you'd think if anyone would say he could win, she would, but she doesn't. Yes, I think those are valid points. Trust me, I do. But the reason why I put that over is because the writer that created him says Revan defeats Nihilus just about every day. Naga Sadao beats Nihilus. So that's why I say, because the writer, the creator, that's all. Okay. So I removed number 2, and it's because it's Vicious and Sidious. 3, in my opinion, is Cadus and Crate. Why? Because I think they are extremely durable. I don't think they're as gifted as Sidious and Vitiate, but these characters are freaking tanks, and I think it's very hard for anyone below them to fight them and survive consistently. I think Vader is a tank. I think Malgus is a tank, and Malgus is actually sitting a little low here. So I'm actually going to put Malgus up here, because I think Malgus is very, very strong. But here is the problem. So here's the thing, guys. Oh, I fucked up. There is a 2. And it's Exar Kun. So the reason why Exar Kun is number 2 for me is because Exar Kun, in my opinion, on Yavin, is one of the most powerful Sith Lords of all time. He is fighting a very strong Luke Skywalker and almost kills Luke Skywalker. And it takes a very old Jedi Master, dead Jedi Master, and several of the apprentices of Luke Skywalker to destroy him. Exar Kun is one of the most powerful Dark Lords of the Sith of all time. And I believe that he is up there in power with Dark Empire Sidious. Maybe not to the level of that, but I think that he's very close. But that's why I think he's number 2. I think what Exar Kun did after Luke fought Sidious says a lot about how strong Exar Kun is. Exar Kun over Marco Ragnos. Oh, that's another one. Fuck. Damn it. That's another one. All right. So, all right, we're gonna have to fix this. We're gonna have to fix this. Okay, so, yeah, because Marco Ragnos also did some shit, bro. Those Jedi Knight games, man. Marco Ragnos is a dog. So, all right, here. This is what I'll do. This is what I'll do. Revan, Vader, Malgus, which I think are very even. But this is where this has got to change. And then free to add. Get away from me, you stupid AI shit. I don't give a fuck. Down. I don't know. I actually think Plagueis might be. Plagueis is so interesting with his science, but I don't see him as particularly powerful. But he is. He could have killed Sidious. He could have killed Sidious if he wasn't drunk. But it's the Phantom Menace Sidious, so it's not really like Sidious. I think I'll keep Plagueis there. All right. So we have Vader. Frida Nad gone. Traya gone. Honorable mention to Lock Horde. He just has no, like, he's just Chuck Norris of Sith Lords. He's Cadus Crate Vitiate. Lumaya, Ruin. Nice. Dooku. I think I'm keeping them off. Darth Jar Jar, no diff salt. Do you right, Leon? Leon, so good to see you. Everybody welcome Leon with a ready up. Sidious gets powerful by stealing Plagueis, a horde of Sith artifacts and scrolls, yes. Tenebrous way makes Plagueis look like a joke, to be honest. Interesting. Actually, I've actually never read that. I need to read that. I'm back, apprentice. It's so good to see you, Leon. I missed you, fam. I hope you've been doing well, by the way. Exar-Kun was basically the Anakin of his time. He was, yeah, yes, he was. That's how I feel about him. Ryder didn't speak about Revan. No, he did. No, he did speak about Revan. It's, I actually have the tweets. I have them screenshotted. I will show you. Ragnos, Marco Ragnos Spears also gets mopped by a Jedi who's been a Jedi. Yes, that is also true. Yes, that's in the video game. But that game is also making you, like, you could, like, try to kill Luke Skywalker in that game, if I remember correctly. Marco Ragnos is the most, I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's, I mean, I don't know, Exar-Kun. I mean, I feel like Exar-Kun. Exar-Kun, Frida Nad. Frida Nad was doing some insane shit. Was it Kyle Katarn? I could have sworn it was Luke Skywalker. I have to play that. I haven't played it since 2005, guys. That was a long time ago. Okay, all right, so here we go. So this is my Sith Lord top 10. We have, at 10, we have Nihilus, Argue with the Wall. 9, we have Plagueis. 8, we have Naga Sadow. 7, we have Frida Nad. 6, we have Darth Bane. 5, we have Malak on the Starforge and Traya on Malachor. 4, we have Revan, Vader, and Malgus. You can put them in any order. Personally, I mean, it really depends. I would probably put, like, Return of the Jedi above Revan, or Revan at the end of Knights of the Old Republic above Vader. Like, it really doesn't matter to me. To me, they're all in that echelon of Force user. I think Darth Caedus and Crate are immensely durable and insanely strong. And I think Marco Ragnos, I think that his reputation speaks for itself. And I think anyone going against these characters is going to struggle, and everyone below them will struggle. I mean, I could see Malgus and Vader handling Marco Ragnos, I guess, on their best day. Marco Ragnos, I feel like could be also in the Treya area and Malik area. Exar Kun is number 2. Exar Kun is insanely powerful. Exar Kun, I think, is on the level of Sidious. And at number 1, there is no 2. These characters are being shared. It's going to be Darth Vitiate and Darth Sidious. You could put whatever one you want above, but that is my top 10 most powerful Sith Lords of all time, baby. That's how I feel about that. New canon. I wanted to add new canon to these characters, but there isn't really a Sith Lord that I think could contend with these characters. I just think Legends characters are more powerful at the moment. It's not that new canon stuff is weak. It's just that these characters are probably going to outlive anything that's been introduced so far. Characters like Momin or Noctis, I don't think they can handle these characters. Tenebris predicted the coming of Anakin and made Plagueis because he thought Plagueis would be the one to make Anakin. But does that make him powerful? I feel like Plagueis is extremely powerful in the science of the Force, and the midichlorians, injected the dark side of the Force in the unifying Force, which is insanely powerful. But could he contend with the characters above him? I don't think so. Momin is cool, but that. Yes, Momin gets absolutely slapped by Vader. That's not even in his prime. I wouldn't say Plagueis and Tenebris is powerful, just really smart. I think that's probably the best way to. That's exactly how I feel. Like I don't see Plagueis handling anybody above him. I think he's handling Nihilus because I think he's extremely intelligent. And I think that there's something that he could probably do against Nihilus because he's all about science. He's all about midichlorians and manipulation. I feel like that's a guy that's going to cause you a problem, if I'm Nihilus. But he's not handling Naga Sadow. He's not handling Friedanad. He's definitely not handling Bane. And he's not handling Malik or Treya or Revan or Vader or Malgus. No, it's not happening. Definitely not. But what Plagueis would destroy Nihilus. I can't put Nihilus any higher, man. I can't. I can't. I'm putting them in any situation, and this is my tier list that's going to come out. These people are going to come out more than everybody else, and I don't think it happens for Nihilus. I think he's got too many weaknesses. That's how I feel. But what do you guys think? How would you guys change all that? I'll put it inside the chat for you guys. And then we'll do that. No, I would like to do that. Thank you very much. There you go. That's it. And then we can see my face, and then I will be done. This was a 2-hour stream, guys. I didn't even realize. Star Wars Theory recently made a sequels rewrite where Snoke is a Force vampire that's been around for a really long time. The Jedi and Sith had to team up to stop him at one point. Interesting. Very interesting. Logan says, Kreia also said there's no strength in his hunger. Yes. Yeah, and she says that a lot. Yeah, she also said that, he has no power. He, because I have the quote on my computer, but I don't know, man. I feel like everybody that loves Nihilus only pays attention to the compliments. They don't pay attention to everything else, But he's a cool freaking character. I got his Funko Pop, bro. I got his characters. I got his Black Series. He's cool as shit. I get it. I understand. But yeah, he's capable of draining Force power and draining the essence and basically life form Force from Ghosts. Cool. I like that. That's cool. But yeah, what do you guys think? How are we doing on the list? I know you guys probably want Nihilus even higher. But yeah, how was that? How are we doing? I know Nihilus is going to be really controversial. Trust me. I know TikTok's going to absolutely destroy me. But what are you guys thinking? I think it's just written so that your protagonist is the only answer. It goes with the theme of the game and protagonist. I think that opinion is... A lot of people agree with you. I think that I am in the 1%. So please do not listen to me. Please don't. I'm just only going by what the writer says, Chris Avalon says, and my mind. That's it. And I would not... Trust me. Not gonna lie, 12 Sith Lords could be on here. But yeah, what do you guys think? How are we doing, huh? Do we like it? Do we hate it? Does it make sense? Is it okay? I think it's pretty sound. I don't think it's perfect because I just think that there's so many things that could go. Like Vader, is up here with Revan and Malgus, but like Vader's more machine than man. He has durability issues, but he's a tank. Marco Ragnos can absolutely get destroyed. Especially with his scepter and all these other things that go into it. Exar Kun, also Sidious, Vitiate, stupid character. But has to be respected. Naga Sadao blows up suns. Frida Nad possesses just about anybody he's around, and displays amount of dark side ability that I've never seen any other ghost do. Where he can literally talk to people beyond planets. It's crazy, Cadus beats Vader. I think he can. I think Vader can also beat Cadus. But I think Cadus would win because he's all flesh. Vader's superhuman. Vader is a dog, and I don't think Cadus is walking out of that fight whole. I think Cadus is almost dead, but I think Cadus wins. I think it's the same thing with Crate. Like, I think Crate is like, oh my F, I probably shouldn't have fought that guy. But, there's other things that you could do to beat and dispel Vader, Yes, exactly, Gage. That's why I have to put him above Vader. Vader, listen, it's the same thing with Nihilus, guys. As much as I love Vader, as powerful as Vader is, even on his best day, he is still gimped. He's still nerfed. He's still not as good as he could have become. And that's going to make him lose against Exar Kun, against Sidious, against Vitiate, against Crate and Cadus. That's how it is at the end of the day. If it's Anakin Skywalker, full-blooded, all limbs, oh, no. No, this tier list is different. No. Crate is one of the most durable Sith ever, dude. Yes, that's exactly it. Crate is just so... Crate punched Abeloth! And Abeloth screamed in pain! Are you kidding me? That's all you need to know. But guys, we've been extremely passionate today. It's been so fun. Oh, man. Hey, we should do Jedi next time, though. I would love to see what you guys say. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you listening to all my nonsense. It's been so fun. You guys are always so freaking cool and understanding, even though I talk so much crap. But thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out the shorts every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Get inside the Discord if you haven't already. And shout out to all the new people coming here, man. It's been so fun. I really enjoyed you guys. And I will see you next time. On Tuesday, 8 p.m. And you guys always know where we are, right? Inside the Dark Temple. Visited by Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, and so many of the Force sensitives like yourself. I'm Lord Dagovere, fam. And I'll see you around. Deuces.